I'm Navika Kuchikula.
And I'm Caroline Kefauver.
And today we are going around the world in 11 minutes.
Not once, but twice.
On our first trip, we will explore a beautiful, ecologically important destination on each continent.
Then, on our second trip, we will discuss the human activities that are devastating these unique and significant places.
And our first destination is one that is close to home, the Everglades. Many of us are familiar with the Everglades because it is one of Florida's primary attractions. Consisting of almost 3 million acres, the Everglades is a subtropical wetland extending from Lake Okeechobee to the Florida Bay. The Everglades is important due to its biodiversity as well as its role as a primary source of drinking water for more than 7 million Americans. It is also a prime spot as it supports the state's outdoor recreation economy, tourism industry, and agricultural sector. On to South America.
Hola! Spanning 8 countries in the northern sector of South America, the Amazon rainforest is the most well-known and biologically diverse rainforest in the world. The Amazon rainforest is about 1.4 billion acres of dense forest, according to the World Wildlife Fund. Not only does the rainforest provide a habitat for millions of species, it also contains over 100 billion metric tons of carbon, which essentially stabilizes the carbon cycles that affect the Earth's climate. Our next stop is Antarctica.
Welcome. Antarctica is known for being the ice continent that is isolated from all other places. It plays an important role in the world's weather patterns and provides a benchmark for climate change, as scientists can find a detailed climate record inside the ice. The land holds a high importance because, according to the Australian Government Department of the Environment and Energy, 90% of Earth's ice is found in Antarctica and 70% of available freshwater is locked up in the ice sheets. Continue our trip to Europe.
Ciao! The Mediterranean basin is home to tens of thousands of species of flora and fauna, especially reptiles. According to the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, there is high species diversity due to the basin's location between 2 continents, as well as the basin's proximity to over 15 countries. In fact, the basin has about 12,000 species that don't live anywhere else. Because the basin is especially well known for its spectacular scenery, it is a perfect vacation spot for the 246 million tourists who visit it each year. Moving on to Africa.
Salama. Madagascar is located in the Indian Ocean off the southeast coast of Africa. It is like no other destination as it holds incredible, unique diversity. It is the world's 4th largest island, containing an unparalleled amount of diversity in beautiful flora and fauna. Due to its geographic isolation, tropical climate, and rainy seasons, this island is home to 5% of the world's biodiversity, and most of its species can only be found in Madagascar. Let's head to Asia.
Namaste. Home to the mighty Mount Everest, the eastern Himalayas is the highest mountain range in the world. The mountains are home to a wide range of ecosystems due to the length, width, and height of the mountain range. According to the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, the abrupt rise of the Himalayan mountains from less than 500 meters to more than 8,000 meters results in a diversity of ecosystems that range in only a couple of hundred of kilometers, from grasslands and broadleaf forests to conifer forests and alpine meadows. For our next stop, we are continuing our travels in Asia.
Maori. Micronesia and Polynesia is a beautiful strand of 4,500 islands in the South Pacific. It is home to more than 3 million people with a hotspot that covers 46,315 square kilometers, which is about the size of Switzerland. Micronesia is home to the Republic of Palau and includes the wonders of 200 limestone and volcanic islands, a prime dive site location, and stunning, diverse marine life. Our final destination is Australia.
Good day, mates. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most diverse and intricate ecosystems in the world. The reef stretches over 2,300 kilometers along the Australian coastline, covering 35 million hectares. It is so large that it can be seen from outer space. The Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest and richest coral reef. It contains over 3,000 individual reef systems and coral cays, and it is home to thousands of species of marine flora and fauna.
While traveling to foreign places, many people are oblivious to the environmental degradation happening all around them.
During this next trip, we want to take you back to all these places and show you what's really happening to the world we live in.
You are all aware of the human activities that are destroying this planet,
but you may not know the extent of the destruction.
Pay close attention to our second journey, because you may not think this topic is affecting you personally, but it will forever impact the planet and future generations.
So sit back and relax, but don't take this lightly.
Aside from the beautiful fauna and flora, there has been a huge increase in the number of threatened and endangered species in the Everglades. Many conflicts such as development and agriculture have greatly altered the flow of the Everglades. According to the Everglades Foundation, the wetlands are now half its original size due to humans building almost 2,000 dams. As a result of alterations of the land, the Everglades is now home to 68 species that are threatened or endangered to become extinct. Hopefully you'll return. Now on to South America.
The most pressing matter affecting the Amazon rainforest is illegal logging. Not only is the forest being logged for its monetary value, the rainforest is also being cleared for agricultural purposes and for infrastructure. Not only is the logging destroying the habitats of the many species residing in the rainforest, it is also diminishing the amount of carbon intake in the forest. The drastic increase in deforestation has caused large amounts of carbon to be released into the atmosphere, which can cause drastic changes in the climate. Our next stop is Antarctica. Adios, South America.
You've probably heard that the ice in Antarctica is melting, but what you might not know is that according to NPR, it is melting at the fastest rate we've ever seen. What does that mean for us? National Geographic reported that scientists predict that sea level rises can rise as much as 6 feet by the year 2100, which would cause hundreds of millions of people to be displaced from coastal cities worldwide. Not only does this affect humans, but also species of krill and penguins are suffering from habitat loss. Continuing our trip to Europe. Goodbye, Antarctica.
Although the Mediterranean basin is one of Europe's most spectacular, diverse hotspots, the farming techniques practiced by the 445 million residents of the basin are destroying the plants that make the basin so unique. With the rise of industrial-level agriculture in the basin, practices like deforestation and intensive grazing are causing extreme habitat loss. Because of the booming tourist industry surrounding the Mediterranean, pollution and urbanization are also negatively affecting the wildlife of the basin. Moving on to Africa, arrivederci, Europe.
In spite of its beautiful scenery and diversity, Madagascar is one of the poorest countries in the world. Deforestation has been caused by the culture created in that economy. The native people depend on the natural resources and have to make use of whatever they find. The natives use a slash and burn technique to convert the rainforest into rice fields. Other threats include logging, grazing, fieldwood gathering, mining, and cattle ranching. The loss of habitat is the biggest threat to Madagascar, and according to PBS, the island contains only 10% of its forests, with 1 to 2% of the remaining forest diminishing every year. Let's head to Asia. Viloma, Africa.
Although the Himalayas is thought to be indestructible, many human activities are destroying the wildlife that populate the many ecosystems of the mountain range. Because of the low economic status of many living in the Himalayas, wildlife is exploited for money. Habitat loss is prevalent due to logging and deforestation for agriculture, and many species are being poached and sold on the black market. Climate change has also had a major impact on the mountains. Melting ice turns into flooding that wreaks havoc on farms and wildlife. For our next stop, we are continuing our travels in Asia. A la vida!
The beautiful scenery of Micronesia and Polynesia hosts 476 globally threatened species. The natural assets of the hotspots are the most threatened in the world, with only 21% of the original vegetation remaining intact. The major threats are human-induced habitat alteration and loss, overexploitation of natural resources, and invasive species. The future impact of sea level rises and climate change are unknown, but at this rate are very significant. Our final destination is Australia. Muta, Asia.
Although the Great Barrier Reef is a one-of-a-kind international treasure, many impacts of human activities are negatively affecting the reef. Extreme weather due to climate change is impacting the quality of the water, as well as causing coral bleaching, which occurs when live corals are stressed, in this case from overheating. Another threat to the water quality of the Great Barrier Reef is nitrogen and pesticide runoff from the urbanization surrounding the reef. Because the coastal ecosystems are sensitive to change in their environment, land clearing, such as large-scale clearing of forests, woodlands, and forested floodplains, which cause an increase in sediment discharge in the reef, are putting the reef at an even greater risk. Take it easy, Australia.
The bottom line is that saving our planet is saving our one and only home.
Navika and I feel strongly about protecting the planet, not only for ourselves, but also for our posterity.
We would like to read you a poem by Richard Williams, better known to the slam poetry world as Prince E.A.
Prince E.A. writes and shares spoken word videos about environmentalism, as well as a range of other topics. So please enjoy these excerpts from Dear Future Generations.
Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say sorry. Sorry we left you our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing.
I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was. Like a marriage gone wrong, we didn't know what we had until it was gone.
You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me to great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit over people, greed over need, the rule of gold above the golden rule.
I'm sorry we used nature as a credit card with no spending limit.
Sorry we poison the oceans so much that you can't even swim in them.
But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, because we have the nerve to call this destruction progress.
I'm sorry that our footprints became a sinkhole and not a garden.
I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we didn't find another planet in time to move to.
You know what? I'm not sorry.
This future, I do not accept it, because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How?
Let me suggest that if a farmer sees that a tree is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it. They look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root, and not the branches of the government, not to the politicians run by corporations.
We are the root. We are the foundation, this generation. It is up to us to take care of this planet.
It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climates of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature, we are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us.
Because whatever you're fighting for, racism, poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any other type of equality,
it won't matter in the least, because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. Sorry.
Carolyn and I believe that our generation has the power to save the earth.
We want to inspire you to own that power and start taking action.
You can take action by looking at your teacher's Canvas site.
It is time for our generation to stand up and fight for our earth. Navika and I feel that we can make a difference if we all stand together in solidarity in pursuit of a better tomorrow for ourselves and our planet.
And that is why we believe that this is
An idea worth sharing. Oh my gosh!